Welcome to Personal Mastery Training. I'm your host, Alvin Brown, former world class athlete turned entrepreneur and consultant. Join us as we learn from guests who have conquered their inner battles and share their journeys to success. Get ready for inspirational masterclasses and thought provoking strategy sessions to fuel your path to personal mastery. Let's dive in. Everybody, welcome to Personal Mastery Training, the Alliance. Got my boys here, and we are just a little preamble before we start. So what this is all about is this idea. Life is a thing, our opinion, my opinion. I've been in love with the idea of philosophy. Philosophers will contemplate and debate and to dissect, chop up simple things like the way plants grow and they try to find a meaning in it. So this goal of personal mastery, his idea is going on as a journey of dissecting your day, dissecting experiences, and sharing ideas. No one owns an idea, no one owns a truth. There's some sort of the truth, and you give it at your perspective. So what we do on here, we want to give it to you at our perspective, and why? Because we want to open conversations with you, to yourself, to your friend, journaling, just open conversations. We don't do that enough today because everything we're distracted by social media or whatever it is that thinks for us. And we're going back. We're inviting you to think, go deep. So today, one of us brings a conversation, a topic. We call it the main meal, and this is the food for the soul. We dissect. We add to this meal, and hopefully by the end, our goal is to present you with something flavorful. And it's all about building the soul. So food for the soul. All right, today I have Raymond on here and I have Dr. Charlie Cartwright. And I'm gonna hand it. Dr. Charlie stopped on his way here and picked up a nice main course. So give it to us.
Awesome. Well, it's great to be here today. And I was thinking about gifts earlier. And, one of the things that makes a gift is someone has to give it, right? And then we have to be receivers of it. Otherwise, it's not a gift. So, but one of the keys to receiving a gift is being accepting of it. And I think a lot of times as humans, we don't always accept the gifts that are given to us because sometimes they come in disguise, right? It could be in the form of discipline, right? Someone has given us some stern counsel and we don't want to accept it, but that counsel is really a gift that can propel us and help us in the future. Other times gifts come in the form of adversity, and we have some adversity but we don't want to accept the lesson that it's brought to us, therefore we don't benefit from it. I remember years ago, a friend of mine got married. I mean, we're talking almost 40 years ago, so I'm dating myself a little bit there. But a friend of mine got married almost 40 years ago. I was in the wedding, and I got him a walk for a wedding gift for him and his wife. And last year, they had me over to their house for brunch, and his wife said, "Hey, look, we still have the walk." It's almost 40 years later, and they've been using that walk. That walk has been serving them for almost 4 decades. But what if they had not accepted it? What if they said, this thing, I don't want this walk. We wanted cash, we wanted something else. And they discarded it or gave it away. They would have never benefited. But they accepted that gift, and as a result, they benefited that gift for almost 40 years. So it's a metaphor for life for all of us, all the listeners out there. When someone offers a gift to you in the form of advice, right? Or sometimes it even comes in the form of encouragement. And we say, I don't want that. We're not accepting that gift. And even encouragement is such a benefit because sometimes when we're feeling low or not ourselves, we can reference back to that encouragement someone offered up to us that gave us that gift, and it can lift us out of that moment. So with that, I'll pass the mic.
Yeah, I love this, Charlie. I love this 100%. And as I'm thinking about what you said, Also, just the fact that this walk lasted 40 years. Okay, it's not any walk. There was careful thought uh, behind it. You know, there was careful thought to make sure that whatever you gave that couple was something of quality and something that would last. Because that's something very important. I find that we need to decipher in our lives is that there are different types of gifts. There are those that, fade very quickly, but there are also the ones that are solid and that may last uh, for a lifetime. And it's important to see which one are which. Okay, which one are which. And when we do get those gifts, okay, those special gifts that may not seem that special, but that may last a lifetime, that may elevate us, it's important to give them the respect, give them the love, the appreciation, so we can get the fruits uh, of those gifts. Because that walk could have been there collecting dust, could have been there collecting dust, but it's been used. Okay, it's been used and still goes strong to this day. So I think that's something I'm definitely thinking about right now, how some gifts truly last while others fade, so there are levels when it comes to those gifts. Another thing also, right before we started this conversation, we quickly talked about, and I hope I don't steal Alvin's thunder here, but I have to go in there, how it's true that sometimes we don't feel deserving of those gifts. You know, we get the gift, and oh yeah, we get the compliment, we get the advice, and we try to put it away like it's not for us. And I found this wisdom online I wanted to share with everybody. It says here, you'll be amazed at what you attract after you start believing what you deserve. Okay, after you start believing what you deserve. So we deserve to be in the game. We deserve to have the right things. Happiness is our birthright. Growth is our birthright. This is what we're designed in the end to be. But I find that when we do give value to those gifts, okay, that's when the gifts activate. But first, we need to start believe that we deserve them. Okay, we need to start believing that so that we can be in the moment when we do get the advice that can change our lives, and we can listen. Okay, and not be stuck in our ego and let it pass by and go from one ear to another. In sports, they always used to tell us, don't listen to the tone or the language, look into the message. Okay, the person talking to you right now, do you not like the way they're talking to you, or are they truly giving you something that's making you better? Okay, and are you humble enough, strong enough to take it if you truly want to get better? That's another really important thing. So man, let's value the gifts that last, because they're the ones that make everything a little bit more colorful and strengthen everything else in our lives. And with that, I'll pass the mic.
Yes, Ray, you almost went there where I had to pull back on that next reply. But here's so it's a great way to come at it, Charlie, is bringing this gift acceptance. And I love what Ray said, the quote about feeling deserved. A lot of people don't, for many, many reasons. We unconsciously don't feel as if we deserve great things. I remember, I remember back in the day when I bought my first car, new car. Yeah, I think it was a brand new car. All my cars before that were things I had to fix up. And I think it was designed that way. One, one, I was broke, but two, I gave an excuse when I had to fix it myself. I felt deserving of having that car. A brand new car was weird. I didn't have to do anything. So I remember driving off the lot with this brand new car. You could smell it. The smell of a new car and 0 kilometers on there or miles, whatever. And I was driving home with this weird feeling that someone's gonna want something from me. Some friend or family member is gonna think I'm rich. And it wasn't even that. It wasn't like I bought a roll off the lot with a Lambo. It was a Volkswagen. And I was all the way home. I'm thinking, who's thinking I'm showing off? Who's thinking I'm this and who? The chatter that went on about feeling deserving of this thing. And it was only a damn Volkswagen. So it made me think about this idea that you have to feel deserving of things. And I didn't. So I had all this chatter going on about it. And so you have to feel like you deserve things in order to accept them. And why would they come in your life on an energetic level, quantum physics level, or whatever level you want to approach this? Why would it come in your life if you're not making space for it, if you're not willing to accept it? It could be ready, whatever it is you want. How many people, experience the imposter syndrome when they do get something and then push it away? So they get the position, they get the role, they get the whatever it is they want. But in the back of their mind, they say someone's gonna find me out. I don't deserve this. So on and so on. Even though they're the ones who put in the time, the energy into creating the platform for this to happen, whether it be education, whether it be experience, whether it be negotiating, and they get this thing and they feel like imposters because they're not ready yet. And this is why, when you think about it, it's why 70+% of wealth that goes into a hand or a person that isn't ready, the low socioeconomic person from the ghetto who been broke and been talking broke language forever, all of a sudden wins a lottery or signs a contract or whatever it might be, elevates himself to that next level after 3 years of that thing ending or getting the lottery ticket, an average about 3 years or plus, they're broke, dead broke, below broke, because actually they're actually worse scenario. Why? Because now they have a home, bunch of cars, bunch of things that they bought that they can't now maintain because they were living a lifestyle that now the money's gone and now they're deep into debt. They moved from zero broke to extra broke. So you really have to feel like you deserve it, like you want it. And here's the thing about feeling like you deserving it, like you deserve it. Let's take something simple that I do on social media. If someone likes something I do on social media, I put a heart under almost every, I would say almost every comment, yeah, comments mostly is where you can put it. I put a heart, not a thumbs up. I put a heart or even a caring emoji. Why? Because I appreciate that you took your time in today's distracted world of social media where people just scroll by and they tap like. And when they put a stop and actually heart, but think about this. A comment takes a lot of effort today. Believe it or not. It takes thought, it takes effort. Think about it. You can scroll, hit, nice, okay, move, not, tap, tap, and move on. But to comment, it means you slowed down. It means you thought about me in a good light. It means you did this, you did, and you left a comment. That's huge. So I heart you. I don't do a thumbs up. I give you a heart. Why? It encourages you, one, and lets you know that, one, I appreciate that more than just a thumbs up. And it's weird how we've become used to these language online now, whether it be you're shouting at me by putting caps or bold or exclamation mark. It's another language. You don't even have to say it. It's like really talking to somebody. So I put a heart because one, they acknowledge, and most likely they'll be back to support you again in another way that you. So simple thing as that. It's a new language, a new communication. So when I have these people who support me, especially I've gone through some, some challenges, major challenges, and the support I get, it's incredible. The support I get from people who truly know me and who will. It's overwhelmingly amazing the things they'll do because little things we do where we put out for people and accept the gifts they're giving me and with grace and it encourages them on a soul level to do it again because they know it's appreciated. And I'll go into a story I was telling the group before we got on here. I had a receptionist who I like to compliment people who help me out. And I was complimenting, oh no, no, no. It kept on and it seemed very painful for me to compliment her. So I stopped because it just got painful to even give her the compliment. So at one point during the journey, she mentioned not being appreciated. And I'm like, how can, what? Do you know what you do when you get a compliment? She didn't realize that she was pushing away the gift of a compliment. And now I stopped because it was getting awkward. And now, with no compliment, I don't feel appreciated. Well, I thought actually complimenting you was making you uncomfortable. So I stopped. So again, we don't encourage people when we push things away. And we don't encourage, let's go on a quantum physics level or esoterically, we don't accept the universe won't give us if we keep pushing it away. No, 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 no. The gift comes in and the walk comes in, I don't appreciate it. See, I can guarantee you Charlie would give those people a new walk again and again because he went, wow, you went that long with this thing? That makes you feel good. I will give you again. As opposed to seeing your walk in the garage sale a year after you give it to them. You'll never get anything again. So just think about that in your own life. What you don't have now in your life, is it because you're pushing it away? Whether it be energetically, spiritually, mentally, emotionally. If you don't have the relationship, if you don't have the love, if you don't have the whatever, then I bring back this wisdom that says earned and not given. You earn it. And earning it is thank you. Oh man, that's so amazing. Thank you for this. Thank you for the compliment. Thank you for the whatever, the big, the small. Thank you. Appreciate you. Right? And most likely those people are, yeah, that's awesome. I'll do it again because I actually feel good when he accepts it. So don't make it painful to accept a gift. So with that, I'll pass the mic back over.
I love these thoughts. So powerful, and it's such a powerful subject when you think about it. And the wisdom you shared, Ray, after you believe that you deserve, see what you attract, right? And Alvin touched on it as well, is energetically, if we're not feeling deserving, we're actually going to push those gifts away. And I found a wisdom to help with this because, some people struggle with it. Well, how do I overcome the feeling of being unworthy? Or how do I overcome the feeling of not being deserving? And the answer is gratitude. And I found this wisdom. It says gratitude unlocks the fullness of life. It turns what we have into enough and more. It turns denial into acceptance, chaos to order, confusion to clarity. Powerful stuff. So the first action that we should take has everything to do with gratitude when someone offers us a gift, right? Just simply saying thank you. That should be the first thing. Acceptance. And when we accept these things into our life, these gifts, we're actually making room for more. Because to Alvin's point, hey, someone held on to a gift that I gave them for almost 40 years. Yeah, I'd get them another walk tomorrow, right? Because I know they're going to care for it, they're going to appreciate it, they accept it, they're going to use it, right? Put it to use. And it's an amazing thing, too, that when we accept a gift from another, then we're validating, you know, their belief in us because they believe in us, right? They're giving us a gift, whether that's advice. They didn't believe in us, would they offer advice? If they thought we were going to destroy the gift, would they offer the physical gift like a walk or anything else to us? Probably not. If we're going to reject encouragement, would they even offer it up to us? As the example that Alvin gave, no. So gratitude is the attitude that we have to really work at and perfect. And when we have a grateful heart, man, it feels good to give to someone that's grateful, doesn't it? It's a good feeling for us. Like, man, I feel good about giving that gift because look, they're pleased, they're appreciative, and they're putting that to use. As a matter of fact, I'm going to look out for them a little more, right? Subconsciously, because I know that they're going to be appreciative of it. It's interesting. I had a May 1st, May Day, and I'm not familiar with that, but May Day, I don't know if it's just United States or all over the world, but I got a text from my next door neighbors. Hey, are you around? I was like, yeah, I'm in town. All right, I want to bring something over to you. So, I'm in my office and, I hear a knock at the door and a doorbell ring actually. I go downstairs and there's no one there, but there's these flowers, right? And so I grab the flowers and then the two little girls come around the corner, hey, and they hug me and they've given me these flowers. And it's so interesting because the family next door, they're gift givers, right? They're very nice people, these young girls, they're probably 10 and 7, but they also knew that, hey, he's gonna be, appreciative of it and grateful. And it was just such a good moment. Their parents are kind of standing off in the distance and waved to us, waved to me, but it was such a good moment because those little girls, they made a paper vase and they wrote a nice note on it, and then they handpicked those flowers and put them in there and walked all the way over here and gave it to me personally. And so it was such a great moment. But what kind of moment would it have been if I had not accepted the gift, right? I mean, it would have been disappointing for the girls. They tried to do something nice for me, and hey, he's this grouchy neighbor, right? But instead, the gift kind of went both ways because they gave that gift to me, but I could see the the joy in their faces that, hey, I'm accepting it, and they put some work into it and some effort into it and brought it over and handed it to me. And it was a neat thing. So I think that when we're accepting the gifts that others are offering to us, we bless them too, right? Because to Alvin's point earlier, they took the time, right, to comment on social media, or they took the time. And we all have limited time, and that's our most valuable resource. And so when someone takes time with us, for us, you know, gratitude's the right attitude. And with that, I'll pass the mic.
I do exactly the same thing on social media. I rarely just put a thumbs up. It's usually hearts because I am grateful. I am grateful. And it's true that when we take gratitude as our baseline, as our baseline, uh, things are a little bit different. They really do get a little bit different. I have a neighbor. Okay, I barely saw all winter because he's mostly stuck in his house. He's been battling cancer for the past 4 years. Okay, for the past 4 years, he's a certain age, and you could tell it was rough. He's a former musician. He used to go on tour, do all kinds of stuff. Okay, and as the snow cleared up and spring is coming, it gets nice outside. I'm playing in the backyard with my sons, and he got up, just to have a conversation, and I could tell his walk was a little bit uh, different, And what he told me next hit me, but not just because what he told me is energy and the way he was approaching it. He came up and told me, "Hey, Raymond, you know what, man? I just want to let you know I'd love to have you and your sons over at some point so I can play a little bit for him. I have my stuff. I want to play for him because I decided that I'm gonna fight till the end, but this thing is gonna beat me. So I got a couple months left." That's basically what he told me, just like that. Okay, just like that. But he says, "I'm so happy because within the past year, I got to see my son get married. I got to see my grandson born. I'm fighting this thing all the way to the end. Man, every day is a gift. I should have been gone 4 years ago. I'm still here. I got to experience all of." He was so positive, and every day, seriously, it wasn't just something he said, it was a gift. Every moment was a gift for him. And man, it hit me different for a lot of for a lot of different reasons, of course, you know, but I just thought that was the perfect example of someone who has gratitude as his baseline and how it changes the atmosphere, not just for him, but for anybody else around him. So he has all this equipment in his home. He has this nice Harley Davidson, and he had a conversation with his son to find a I'm trying to find the right word in English, a foundation, so that he could give that all away to raise money for children who are sick, all of that stuff. So he's just thinking about, man, I want to spread all this love that I've gotten, for my life. I want to give it away. It's just this transfer of love, this transfer of love. And when I hear of your neighbors, let's say Charlie, I think that's awesome because all these gifts, small or big, they're an expression of love in the end. That's exactly what they are. And as we know, we can love people differently. We can love them in giving them a gift like that. We can love them through an action we take. We can love them through our words. There's a lot of different ways, but in the end, it's all expressions of love, which I believe is the strongest thing we have on this planet. It's the strongest thing, and it transfers, and I feel as it transfers, it also builds momentum. You know, it also builds momentum. So that's the first thing I wanted to say. Where yes, if gratitude is our baseline, everything else gets better. Okay, everything else gets better. Now, let's go to the next thing of I'm wondering, why do people have a tough time accepting the gift? Okay, why is that exactly? And as I dive into that, we know a lot of us, even us, that's why we have these conversations. That's why we dive into personal mastery. We wear the hoodie, we wear the hoodie just because we all have self-limiting beliefs at some point, you know. Uh, it happens in our lives where someone told us, "Hey, don't be too proud. Hey, don't make too much noise. Hey, man, this is too big for you." You know, don't go for it. So all those things that we heard, did they stick? Okay, and if they stuck, at some point we have to do something to get them unstuck. Okay, to get them unstuck. So that's the first thing to look at. Second thing, I find there's also an element of fear of disappointment where if we, how can I say that? If we're afraid to be found out, as Alvin said, it's easier to want to stay small. Okay. Want to stay small because we feel safer that way, because we don't feel we're going to disappoint someone. Hey, I invited them over for dinner. They tasted the entree. Okay, they liked it. Cool. They gave me a compliment for it. Cool. But maybe the main course, they're not going to like it. I don't know. So let's temper my expectations. I don't want to raise them too high. I don't want to feel disappointed or disappoint somebody else. That's another thing. Why is that? What is this fear of disappointment? It also comes down to the same thing, is what do we believe, in us? And again, there's just this conditioning, okay? This conditioning where, man, as even you, Alvin, I remember when you bought your first car, your first brand new car, you worked very, very hard for it. You buy the brand new car. Society says, okay, it gives you a certain status. It shows you're at this level now. And maybe you have people around you who aren't there, who aren't there yet. And what do? We feel guilt. Okay. We feel guilt because, man, I did something good for myself by doing something good for others. But since people aren't here now, I'm supposed to feel guilty. I'm supposed to feel bad about it. How weird is that? You know? And it's true, it happens to all of us. And that's why I love personal mastery, because it allows us for a simple moment in time. And with consistency, those moments become more and more and more where we can elevate through this fog. We elevate through it and look at it with a bird's eye view. Okay, and see things like for exactly what they are, and then pick and choose what we decide to believe, because as we said before, no one owns the truth. Okay, no one owns it, but it's there. But through what lens are we looking at it, and how are we understanding it ultimately? So yeah, man, I love the lens of gratitude in the end, because that's the right lens to look through things. Man, that puts a smile on my face, and that puts a smile on someone else's face. And little by little, it allows us to overcome, man, that weird fear of disappointment, those self-limiting beliefs, this conditioning. Man, just one smile can break through a lot of things, huh? Someone's really, really mad walking the street, and you look at him and you smile. Hey, there's a good chance it's just gonna shock that anger a little bit. Maybe they're not ready right now, but it's gonna shock that anger. Hey, it snaps them out of it, and they see something different, and they're allowed to elevate from it. So, all our conversations, all the books we read, all the things we listen to, I find, man, it's just that one smile. It's like a smile coming to us, allows us to see a different perspective, and reminding us, how awesome this life is, and how grateful we are just to be here in this moment. So, with this, I'll pass the mic.
All right, awesome. Just finishing up some thoughts here and to add. Yeah, so go back to something I was thinking as on my last thought. It's so funny. I have people who say to me, I can't remember who it was, but and it's been said many times. Why do people always want to say cook for me? Being from Jamaica, we love food with rich taste. And anyways, I have people who there's a lady who makes a cake, this Jamaican cake, right? Rum cake. And I love that. So my grandmother used to make it for me when I would come over and everybody knows don't touch his rum cake. Anyways, this lady, my receptionist, her mom made rum cakes. So she would she would always out of nowhere make me this rum cake and send it to me every year, even after my receptionist left me. She still makes me rum cakes. She said, "Why do people do these things for you?" And everyone wants to give you stuff, give you like these food, or they make a food for me, or they just know I love it. And you know why? Because each time they make the food for me, I'm so grateful for it. And they can tell. They can tell it's special when they make the food. I'm not just, oh, thanks. No, I'm talking about this thing all the time. And they know it. They can tell it. So guess what? Every year, every time they get an opportunity, they make me something. And so people saying, why they always give? Everyone wants to give you stuff. They want to, well, yeah, because I am not, my attitude is for them, it's just think about what it takes. Even I'm going to go back to likes and hearts and even the emoji that looks like a caring emoji, the hugging heart one. Think about it for a second. The easiest one to hit is the thumbs up. If you choose to go to the next step, which is the heart, that's a thought. That's a mental thought. That was not a mistake. And in today's world of people are being so busy, if you interrupt their busyness to even how insignificant is this conversation I'm having about hearts and likes? How insignificant is it really on a big picture? It's emojis. Come on. No, but it's amazing how that becomes a thought that interrupts your usual busyness. And it actually takes a little bit of decision making to go to a heart and even bigger decision making to go to something higher than a heart. And then you want to comment? Oh my God, that's pushing them over the edge. That's huge. So it's not just likes and emojis and no, these are thoughts. These are time consuming thoughts that in today's busy world. So it breaks the pattern. So acceptance, if you want things in your life, you got to show the universe. You got to show the person who, let's talk about someone who is the influencer who connects you with somebody. And you send them a card of, hey, great connection. They take you out for dinner and they pay for it. And you send us, oh my God, thank you. Someone did a video for me yesterday. I posted online about my son's birthday yesterday. Now, this guy says to me, I'm so moved by your son. And he's a young guy. He's my son's age. Actually, he's younger than my son. And he's moved by the whole thing. So he decides, I want to do something for you. And he does put stays up late trying to get this thing done on my son's birthday. Gets it done, and I'm like, I'm gonna say thank you on there. No, 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 I don't want it. No, 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 thanks. I'm like, no, I am doing it no matter what you tell me. I'm putting it. So if you want, if you don't want it, I'm still giving it to you because I don't believe after you putting all those time and energy. I know you don't. You say you don't want it's not for that. I'm still doing it because for me, it's what you did. The time. Then I don't mess with people's time. So when you do that, it opens people up to, like I said, when I'm going through what I'm going through, this alliance, for instance, has held me up through the challenge that I was going through. Why? Because of the things that we've done to hold each other up, the giving and then the taking. And so again, and I accepted. I said thank you, and the alliance continues to grow. I didn't just push it off. So if you want something in your life, what are you pushing away? The relationship that you say you would like a good relationship, but what are you doing to accept that in your life? If you, I was one of the clients I was working with. Let's talk relationship. One of my clients asked me, Alvin, I'm looking for a good man. She said. So what's a good man? Oh, this. She describes a good man. And I said, if you walked in a bar And here's this man that you're the ideal man over there. But here's you're not ideal man, the one you've accepted. You lowered your standards for you, and you've accepted this man who can't contribute to your life or help you to grow or make you better. And but the man you want is over there. How deserving do you feel to go and talk to that man? And she admits, she said, yeah, I would have thinking he's probably snob, he's probably this, he's egotistical. See, that's what I mean. You aren't ready for that man yet. To you aren't ready to walk over to that man and say, I can add value to you and you add to me. Or that partner, whatever it is. You don't feel you deserve them. So you go over here to the your lower standard. Remember, this is not about them, it's about your standards. You go over to where you're accepting this lower standard who can't add to you because over there you feel you add more value and your ego is a bit more valuable over here, but over here it'll be challenged because you have imposter syndrome. So you go where where you think you're accepted and you take the lower value product because that's what you think you deserve. And you keep attracting these things and you don't know it's you. So again, attraction, attraction. What are you doing to bring it in? And Ray was touched on this conversation of um accepting the ability to deserve, des feeling deserving. And a lot of times, as I think Ray or Charlie pointed out, of accepting something at a high level. The, the wisdom people always talk about. The higher you go, the harder the fall. Well, that's it. That's what it's all about. When we accept things and we're always like, oh, thank you, and people are giving us stuff, it brings up the shame and the guilt, and it brings up the, oh my God, I'm gonna go up so high. They're gonna think so much of me. It's a harder fall. If I stay low, play a low game, and you don't give me comment, I don't. If I fail, it's a softer landing. But then life goes by, keeps going by, and decades have gone by, and you keep accepting the softer landing, never feeling the high of what it's like to go up there and to go to the place you deserve. Everyone deserves to fly high. But we keep on accepting these lower landings because it's safe. The fall is easier, quote unquote, we think. But life goes by and you realize that the fall it got too soft, right? And we miss it. So, um, Ray talked about and I love the quote. I'm going to go back again just one step. I'm going to talk about Marianne Williamson's. One of my favorite quotes is her deepest fear. And part of that, she said, there's no use playing small so others won't feel insecure around you. So I love that. That's what a lot of us do. That's what I did. I played small so you won't feel bad around me because my light is so bright. I don't want to dim yours. Right? So I lower my light a little bit. So I don't feel like I'm making you feel dim. But that becomes a habit, right? I should be, and then go on with Mary Williamson's poem. She said, when I'm liberated from my own fear, I automatically, unconsciously give you permission to do the same. So once again, it's in my right and your best interest for me to shine. So we just need to let go of all that and shine our light. And then, Ray, you're talking about a smile. I wrote here, a smile is attractive because 99%, 93% of communication is nonverbal. 55% is body language. So when we show up with a smile, with a attitude of gratitude, that's what gratitude does. It opens us up. It unlocks the fullness of life. It energetically it attracts and it just puts you in that space. And people are out there seeking you, me, everybody seeks those people with that energy, that positive energy. Um, we were attracted to that, even if we don't know it. Man, I love that person's energy. I love being around them. The energy, the energy. Well, that starts from the gratitude they feel about life. That neighbor, Ray, that you have, that could be a somber. You'd want to avoid that sometimes. Although they're sick and going through what they're going through, sometimes you want to avoid them. Oh my God, it's such negative energy. But when he's so positive, you're like, can't wait to see him. right? It's all about how you show up. Everyone's yearning for energy, good energy. So when you're in that space of gratitude, man, it attracts. It is attractive because people can read you. So, super powerful conversation, being able to accept gifts and gives gifts and acknowledge people. So, with that, I'll pass that over to the main chef.
All right. Wonderful thoughts from both of you. And I taken several notes, and you know what Ray said about his neighbor as gratitude as his baseline. That's a powerful concept right there, and something that we can all benefit from. And then looking at his life through the lens of gratitude, I think is huge, because when we look at life that way, everything will change. Everything will change when we use that lens to view things. Um, the other thing that came out during your discussion, Alvin, was this thought of, living your best life to your fullest, and being willing to stretch outside of our comfort zone. And I think too many people, we've talked about this in the years past, and I think too many people are focused on simply making it safely to death. And if we're focused on simply making it safely to death, we're not living our best life. And I found this wisdom and came across it a few months ago, but it's probably in my top. I put it in my top three for all-time wisdoms. And it's something that George Bernard Shaw said some years ago. And again, I just came across it here in this last year, but it's such a powerful message. He said this: this is the true joy in life, being used for a purpose, recognized by yourself as a mighty one, being a force of nature instead of a feverish, selfish little clod of ailments and grievances, complaining that the world will not devote itself to making you happy. I am of the opinion that my life belongs to the whole community, and as long as I live, it is my privilege to do for it what I can. I want to be thoroughly used up when I die, for the harder I work, the more I live. I rejoice in life for its own sake. Life is no brief candle to me. It is a sort of splendid torch, which I have got hold of for the moment, and I want to make it burn as brightly as possible before handing it on to future generations.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Wow.
That's, that sums it up, and with that, I'll pass the mic.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, yeah, that's
Watch out, Ray. Watch
drop
out,
the
Ray.
mic.
Ray. Watch out, Ray. That's hot. That's hot. That's hot. He's
Yeah,
passing.
that's a drop the mic moment right there. That speaks that I'm ready. I'm ready to put the helmet on, go through the wall, go hit somebody. No, no,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
man, Charlie, that's some powerful stuff. And it's so true because you know, I've realized something through this conversation, and I find every week I realize new things. Okay. I realize that I myself, uh, it's not that I don't like taking compliments. I myself don't like to be celebrated too much, you know? And the reason behind it that I'm uncovering is that I feel like there's much more work to be done, you know? There's much more work to be done. I'm locked in doing the work, and for some weird reason, being celebrated is like, okay, I don't want to get too high, I don't want to get too low, so I stop this momentum. because man, I haven't done much compared to the vision that's in my head, and this vision speaks exactly to the wisdom uh, you talked about. But at the same time, that forgets about gratitude. You know, man, while you're in it, you gotta also look around and enjoy it. And it's so easy to forget that sometimes. And maybe that's why I don't like to be celebrated much. So I will definitely challenge myself to be more in the moment. And again, this is a simple concept, right? But they add on to one another, and you have to see them. You have to apply, you know, yeah, elemental truths. So what's great about these conversations again is that we're not claiming to know everything, and we're not claiming to master everything. We're students of this stuff, and student never stops learning. And even when they learn something, uh, there's also always another level of understanding. you know and from understanding, there's mastery after that. There's a next level of that. So man, that's why I'm just so grateful again. Okay, a life of purpose, isn't that what we all want? Okay, isn't that what we all want? I'm definitely gonna, man, take this from who it is again, Charlie, from George Bernard Shaw, right? Okay, I'm taking that for sure. And I believe it was Alvin that said also before that too many people are focused on making it safely to death. Or I believe it was Charlie. And that's not a way to live our best lives. Man, yeah, for me, that's exactly what it is. Okay. You know, there's the past, there's the future. We can worry about the past. Or I should have done this, should have done that. We can worry about the future. What if, but then we're here, you know. And while we're here, what are we doing with this gift? Again, you know, are we focused on living our best lives? And what is our best lives? Ultimately, it's also a life of love. It's a life of happiness. It's not just for us. It's with other people. We're made to live in a society. So in the end, man, the more we give love, the more loves comes back also. And isn't that all that matters in the end? You know, isn't that all that matters? So yeah, great conversation. I'm passing the mic.
No, no, I got it. That's a great point you brought up, Ray. And I get it. I'm like you, and Charlie probably the same. A lot of people are probably the same. Where we have a vision, and 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 our standards. Sometimes we set our standards so damn high that what'll happen to us? It'll cause us to step over the good things we're doing right now because they're not what our standards are yet. But to others, they're wow, wow, man, that's awesome. But what we're doing again is squashing my joy of watching you cook this food, sing this song, dance this dance, create this thing. And I'm loving it and it's inspiring me. And I want to thank you. And you said, no, no. Again, because my mentor said, you can't dream big enough. Dr. Tom Hill. You can't, and when he said that, I was, it's a quote. Remember, quote, fruitless. But then it became a wisdom. And he's right. As I get older, you can't dream big enough. One book, two book, $1 million, $1 billion, $1 trillion, whatever you measure success by, you're always never gonna catch up. The book by Dan Sullivan named The Gap in the Gain is most of us live in the gap. where we're not yet. We forgot about the gains that we've gained, the fatherhood, the how many years you've been in a marriage, and the whatever, the speaking gigs, and I'm sure Dr. Charlie isn't where he wants to be at, but he's got some gigs going on. He's busy on the road. And there was 6, 7, 8, 10 years ago when we met, he was yearning for these things, but sometimes he's getting them now. You're like, oh no, not yet, because we want to get to that bigger thing. Oh, I'm good, but no, no, no. Celebrate them now. Celebrate them now, and accept, because I'm inspired by what you're doing. But when I talk to you and it's not that big of a deal, oh well, oh okay. I guess it wasn't that big a deal. I thought it was. It's not that big a deal. So you're killing my motivation. So I'm gonna find somebody else, that motivates. So, so the idea, if the idea is I can't dream big enough, then I'm never actually gonna get to this spot where I'm gonna accept it, because my vision is always gonna be bigger. Is it 10 foundations, one foundation? Is it leaving a legacy? Is it helping a million people? Well, there's 8 point something billion, Alvin. It's not enough. Yeah, I know I fed 3 billion, but remember, there's eight. There's still war in the world. There's still pestilence. There's still unrest. I still got work to do. Don't stop me now. And then you pass. Uh, you know. So let's accept right now that we're doing amazing. That we're doing great. I admire that, and I feel the same way you do too, Ray. So I can resonate with this. But that's the epiphany you get, is let people celebrate you, man. Because again, you know, it makes them feel good. It makes them feel good too, to be inspired by you, by your work, by the things you've done. Even if you're unfinished, even if you're a quarter of the way there, it's still inspiration for somebody who hasn't even started yet. All right. So we got to accept that. Um, One of the things, and I love that quote, George Bernard Shaw. I want to be thoroughly used up. That's the goal. Live full, die hard. Right? I mean, live full, die empty. Right? That's what we want to do. And I was thinking about this, and this is gonna be a topic of another conversation. We can't finish this one today, but this idea of the higher you climb, the harder you fall. I'm gonna go back to that, because I read something someone wrote on a chart with my son in mind, and they say the level of grief that you feel about loss is also related to the height of the love that you had. Right? So imagine that, right? The so when you stop opening your heart to and elevating and playing a small game, you're missing, because imagine you were afraid of the hard fall because of the height you climbed. You see that? We also have to remember, if we flip it, the pain I felt when I fell is because I loved so hard, or I climbed so high. So it's another whole conversation, right? Because if you don't feel any pain after the fall, that means you didn't climb very high. If you don't feel any grief, deep passion and loss, that means you never loved that high. So yeah, part of the life's game is the coin. Love hard, fall hard, and do it again. Because the passion of that love was unbelievable, euphoric. So then the grief is, so some people never allow themselves to love that hard, but they never lived then. So, anyways, interesting. That's the topic for the next conversation. But again, the gap in the gain, if we don't allow ourselves to accept the gifts people give to us for saying you did amazing. One, it's a two-way street. One, we never allow ourselves to go to that level of height and enjoy it, so we have motivation to go keep going. And then also the person who, imagine you're meeting a hero, somebody, Gandhi or Martin Luther or anybody. Oh, it's such amazing. I love the work you're doing, or whatever, oh, so amazing. Mother Teresa, whoever. Oh, no, not really. I haven't really done anything, it's not. Oh, Okay, left the conversation. I felt good meeting you, but now I'm like, ugh, okay. Or they could go, yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, it's been a work of passion. I'm so happy for what you said to me. I'm so grateful for that compliment. It is. It's been amazing work. I loved it. I love every minute of. There's more work to do, but I'm really loving where I'm at, and oh wow, I'm even more motivated. So, anyways, it's amazing. So with that, I'll pass that back for our last few words as we close this out.
Another awesome discussion, and again, just really fully stepping into gratitude, I think, is the overarching message in all of this. And there's some vulnerability involved in that, but we don't have to start big. If it's uncomfortable for someone, they can start small, right? And one of the smallest, most powerful ways that you can accept gifts and show gratitude is to say thank you, right? Make that a practice. Thank you. Thank you. Someone holds a door. Thank you. Someone checks you out through a lane at the grocery store. Thank you. Right? Someone fixes your vehicle. Thank you. Someone sends you a nice note. Thank you. Just those two simple words can really change your life. And I found another wisdom on this. It says anyone too busy to say thank you will get fewer and fewer chances to say it. So there you have it. The more accepting of gifts that we are, the more gift givers are going to come into our life. But if we're pushing them away, the fewer and fewer are going to come to us with the gift they have for us. And with that, I'll pass the mic.
Yeah. And the only thing I can think of adding to this is try to always lead when it comes to this. Okay. Uh, Here's what I mean. It's easy to always wait for someone else to thank us. How about we be the ones that give out the thank you first? Okay. That give out the thank you first, because this shifts us again from the thermometer to the thermostat. Okay. So, yeah, man, be the thermostat. Is that the right thing? Or the thermometer?
Yeah, you want to be the thermometer, right?
The thermometer.
Right.
Okay,
Yeah.
the
Yeah. Exactly.
thermometer.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, in sports and business and whatever, if you want a great team, hey, start by being a good teammate. You know, you want great friends, start by being one. You want to create this atmosphere of thankfulness and gratitude, hey, be the first one to say thank you. And yeah, with that, I'll pass the mic.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's yeah, how can we go back and keep one of the reasons why we on this in this community have abolished the word quote, for those who are new, is that quote is lightweight. When we think of the word quote, think about it to yourself, it's overdone. Oh, I heard this quote. Nobody listens to it. What we want to do, one of my mentors says you can be familiar, you can be a master. A lot of people are familiar with quotes. So one of the quotes or the wisdoms that I'm thinking of is Gandhi's. Overused, isn't it? I'm gonna say it. Everyone's heard it. They're familiar with it. Be the change you want to see in the world. Overused, right? Yeah, I heard that before. But are you a master of it? That's why we moved it from a quote. When it's a quote, that thing will fly through you like candy. A carb, a high, chocolate bar. Tastes good, but there's no nourishment. It's not doing anything for your body. But when you change it to a wisdom, here it is. Be the change you want to see in the world. So stop talking all that talk about this, that, and want to do this, this, and this. Do it. Do it. Be the change. Less talk, more action. So, yes, my word then, if you want to wrap this around and put a bow on it, um, take this meal out of the oven and serve it, is acceptance. Being able to accept a compliment, accept people giving you gifts with grace. And more of it will come your way. And you're not doing it for more of it, mind you. You're doing it because you genuinely say thanks. And they automatically, it's in their nature, want to give you more of it. And then just keep accepting it. Not in an egotistical way, but man, it feels good for the work you've done. It's nice to be acknowledged that you're out there doing, and also be um yeah, give you a little pulse on how you're doing so you can keep going. So accept it.
I would say be two words for me, a quick phrase, just thank you, right? I
Mhm.
want to encourage everyone out there to double down on your thank yous and see what you attract, see how it changes the atmosphere in your even casual interactions with other people.
I quickly before Ray jumps in, I remember Jim Rohn, man. I love that guy. Jim Rohn, Rohn. He said tip, the word tip. He reminds me that the word tip is to ensure promptness. Right? So when you go to a restaurant and the waiter or waitress or the server tips, he thinks tips should come before, so it could ensure promptness. And that's what it's all about is tipping them a tip. That's what it does. It ensures promptness that that person's kind typically. So Ray.
Yeah. Um, my word today would be open, because the thing about not accepting the compliments is also to be closed off.
Mhm.
Okay. It's man, open up those gates. Open up the gates. Let gratitude flow. So be open, be less severe with yourself, what you deserve or not. Vulnerable is the word, but yeah, be open.
Open works. All right, fellas, that was a powerful conversation once again. We have more, many more, because life, these are odd-ended conversations because life is filled with so many lessons. And, Ray brought it back again, that personal mastery. And remember the last T. The T is the key. Training. An athlete. When does an athlete ever stop? When you guys were in your athletic days, was it like one day a week you stopped or one game the season? No, it's training constantly and it's repetitive. It's tomorrow I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna train. And life. The funny thing about life is, when do you stop training? What? When do you stop training? I don't even know what happens in the afterlife, but I know this one. It's just keep training, and keep the quest for mastery. So, all right. Until next time, my fellas. You know what we tell everybody to do, right? We wish them what? Peace,
Peace.
and we send them a lot of
Love.
love, but with a sprinkle of soul,
So
your kind of soul. All right. Until next week, my fellas, thank you so much. The Alliance held my back, and now we're back together again, and I'm grateful. And I thank you. And I thank our audience. And our audience, if you know anybody who needs this conversation, let's grow this group. We're going to do big things in the rest of this year. We're planning some things. And into 2026. I think 2026 will be a launch year that we're going to really take this thing to the next level. Um, I think we're ready. We're ready. We're prepared.
yeah.
All right. Until next time, everybody. Peace, love, and a little bit of soul. We're out.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Namaste, brothers.
Namaste.
Yes.